truly believe I think I am a Star Wars fan. Yeah, I don't know like every single monster's name, every creature, every planet. I'm not like that deep into it, but I am a general Star Wars fan. I follow what happens, I follow the storyline, and I will say, I will admit it, I wasn't a fan of Rogue One. I thought it was fine when I first watched it. I watched it more and more, and I liked it less and less, and now it's not even in my like favorites at all. But then The Last Jedi came out, and a lot of people were divisive, and I am one of those people who think it's a okay movie, not my favorite at all. So going into this one, 2 movies in a row I have just been not the greatest fans of. I was very nervous, especially after everything that just happened with the directors, Lord and Miller, and like, I wasn't hyped, but I wanted to see what would they do with a Han Solo movie. There's so many things they could do. So going into the movie, I got a little more excited, and I walked out of this movie not feeling how I felt about Rogue One or Last Jedi. Solo, a Star Wars story. This is our second anthology film in the new Disney era Star Wars films. The first one, of course, was Rogue One. As I said, not my favorite movie. I know a lot of people love that movie, I know. But again, this is my opinion. You can hate me if you want. But walking to Solo, I just had a vibe of like, this could go really well, be really fun, awesome, best Star Wars movie of the year, maybe. And again, one of my favorite Star Wars movies because it's Solo, it's Han Solo. Who doesn't love Han Solo? But of course, there's Alden Ehrenreich. He had to get a coaching actor or whatever because Lord and Miller tried to make him do improv and all that kind of stuff. And then they got fired off the set. And then they came in with Ron Howard, who I love Ron Howard. I mean, he is an Academy Award-winning director. But he hasn't made great movies in the past few years, for example, in Heart of the Sea. So now going in this movie, the production just ruined it, so I didn't know how to feel. But I will say, I thought it was a good movie. Not a really good movie, not a really bad movie, nothing like that, not an okay movie. I thought it was a solid, just good movie. And I would say go see it in theaters because it's a Star Wars movie. I mean, Star Wars, big screen, big action. Yes, go see Star Wars in theaters, please. So the basic storyline is Han Solo is his origin story of how he becomes Han Solo, how he meets Lando, how he meets Chewbacca, how he gets the Millennium Falcon, how does he get out of this little adventure he's in, which is involving Paul Bettany sending him, Woody Harrelson, Emilia Clarke, Chewbacca to this place to receive something to bring it back. That's all I'm going to tell you about this movie, and let's get into it. First things first, let's just talk about it. Let's just get it out of the way. How is Alden Ehrenreich as Han Solo? And for me personally, there are times in this movie where I felt like they were like, hey, could you like stand like Harrison Ford or smirk like him or smile? Or like, there were times where I was like, alright, you're going a little too hard. But for the most part, Alden Ehrenreich I thought he did a fine job. He had one of the most toughest jobs I think to ever have in this film. You're portraying one of the most famous movie characters in film history. Harrison Ford will always be Han Solo to me. So imagine how much pressure he had going into this movie and making it. Especially after everything that happened in production and crap. I couldn't imagine that. But for what it came out to be, I thought he was a good Han Solo. He's not Harrison Ford, but he was a good Han Solo. He tried his best to make his own character, but it's really, really hard to do when you have to like do quips like he does and smile and how he stands. But that's all the issues I have with him, but for the most part, he was fine as Han Solo. Chewbacca, I mean, he steals the entire movie at times. Like, he was great. I thought Chewbacca was really good. I like what they did with him. And I love how they meet. I love how they meet. I thought that was perfect. I like it. I like it a lot of how they met. I really do. Woody Harrelson as his mentor, you could really say, but not really. I thought he was really cool. He had some really cool moments. His character developed into something which I predicted, but for the most part, I thought Woody Harrelson was fine. I really liked Emilia Clarke. I mean, she wasn't the greatest in Terminator Genesis, I will admit, but she's awesome as Game of Thrones. She's amazing as Daenerys. But in this movie, I thought she did a really good job, and her character was very well developed and very interesting in some certain scenes. And I love the relationship she has between her and Han. It's great, and I wish there was more of it. There's such an interesting story there. I really liked all of that. And of course, Donald Glover, Childish Gambino himself. I mean, he can do anything. He can sing, he can dance, he can write music, he can direct, he can write. I mean, he is everything. How is he as Lando? He's exactly what you expect. He is awesome as Lando. He is D. Williams. He is the man himself. I really thought he nailed the role of Lando. He felt like Lando, he looked like him, and he just had the swag and the coolness of Lando. I thought he was Lando. No, I don't want a Lando movie, but I still want to see Donald Glover as Lando one day. I would love to see him return as Lando. But for the most part, how did Ron Howard do? I thought Ron Howard did a really good job directing. The action scenes are really fun. There's a lot of fun scenes in this movie. There's a lot of fun characters to have. There's this robot character that Lando has that I thought had a really funny joke. Kind of got a little overboard in the joke in a certain scene, but when the joke first pops up, I thought it was funny, and then it got to really too much. There were certain characters, like in the trailers, the four-arm monster thing was like, I forget his name, and the African-American woman with the poofy hair in the trailer. They're not in the movie as much as you think they are, but when they were in it, they didn't do anything for me. They really felt like side characters. They didn't feel like anything important. Our main crew is what we really like. Paul Bettany is our main villain, you could say, and I thought he was really good as the villain. Of course, he did his villain cliche of like, I need this item, please give it back to me. But he did a good job in the role. I really like his little weapons he had. I thought that was really cool. And like I said, the action scenes are really fun. There's an awesome scene of a train you've seen in the trailers, and the big scene in the trailer you've seen with him flying in the monsters, whatever. I thought it was a really intense scene. It was really good. I really like that scene. But this movie is not perfect. It's not the best Star Wars movie. There's a lot of fun in this movie, guys. Again, it felt like an adventure movie. But there is number one thing. I did see it with a friend tonight, and the friend agreed with me. The pacing is awful. I mean, this movie is like, oh my god, how much longer? It's like 2 hours and 15 minutes. It feels like 2 hours and 50 minutes. It feels long, and it dragged in some scenes. I'm like, we need something to happen, please. Yes, there's fun, exciting scenes, but Ron Howard has always had a pacing issue. That was his big issue in Hard to See, and it's here again. The pacing, it sucks. I mean, that's just plain and simple. It sucked. I mean, it sucked. The third act was supposed to be really intense. I was literally sitting there like, how much longer is in this movie? Which is fine, okay. And also, is the whole Han Solo origin part of it, there are things they really, like, it felt like, hey, this is a Han Solo reference, this is why he did this is why he got his name, this is how he got the gun, this is how he did this, and there are times you're just like, alright, we get you, you were trying to make money, we get you, you love Han Solo, let's just ring his name out, let's ring it out, let's give these audience members what they want. Han Solo galore, why he did this, why he did that, why he has this, why is he Han Solo? There are times where it felt like the company really was like, let's just ring it out. Let's just get him to make him, everything he has on him, let's give it an origin. Like, it was really annoying. A lot, actually. There are very annoying scenes about that. And for the most part, it was fine, but do we really need to know an origin of why his name is Han Solo? I won't spoil it, but it definitely was like, really? That's why we call him Han Solo? Anyways, overall, the movie itself, I enjoyed. It was a good movie with fun action. It's a fun adventure with fun characters. And I enjoyed most of it. Again, the pacing does suck. And one more con. The movie's predictable as hell. There's a certain thing that happens. I literally predicted right when this character said this. And I was like, that's gonna happen, and it 100% happened. There's also an awesome little thing that comes up toward the end that made my audience woo! So I won't get into it. Overall, Solo is a good movie, not a great movie, not a terrible movie. It definitely is that Rotten Tomatoes score of like a 70%. It's a good movie, but not the greatest. Overall, I liked it more than Rogue One. I'm not sure if I liked it more than Last Jedi. I know a lot of people hate me because I don't like Last Jedi that much, but I had fun with it. I wouldn't mind seeing a sequel. I wouldn't mind at all. So I'm going to give Solo: A Star Wars Story, I'll give it a medium B-. It's a good movie, not a great movie, not a terrible movie. I enjoyed most of it though. Anyway guys, if you guys enjoyed this review, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye guys.